Well, I think you ought to take one of the lighter jobs. A man your age shouldn't be lifting a heavy motor.
Well, now, look who's talking. I'm no older than you are, Tim. Yeah, I'm going to remind you of that sometime when I see you trying to lift one of those heavy outboards of yours into a boat.
Well, that's all right. I've got to go someplace and get back in a hurry. But you, all you got to do is sit and wait for the fish to bite.
Hi, Gramps. Mr. Baxter.
Hi,
Hi, honey.
I was just trying to get Tim to take some time off and go help me buy a motor. But he claims he's too busy.
Well, I
He
am.
certainly is. He has a date with me today, Mr. Baxter.
Oh, and I can't blame him for turning me down. You're a lot prettier than I am.
Now, wait a minute, Nancy. I am busy. I never said...
Please, Gramps.
Well, what would you want me along for?
I told you I have to do a feature story on the Social Security headquarters building.
Well, for heaven's sakes, what could I do? Sharpen your pencils?
Now, Gramps, I want to do kind of a double story. Social Security seen from the viewpoints of both older and younger people. And that's why I need you, Gramps.
You might as well give in, Tim. You know you're going to have to say yes sooner or later. Besides, it won't hurt you any to learn something about Social Security. Been very good.
And me, I've got a business to run.
Gramps, I've got an appointment in 20 minutes over at the Social Security building. Please say you'll come with me.
All right, honey. I'll go. Just as soon as I take care of Sam.
Don't worry about me. I'll be all right by myself.
Bye, Mr. Baxter.
Goodbye, Nancy. Go on. Have fun.
And so Tim and Nancy start on their way to visit the headquarters of the Bureau of Old Age and Survivors Insurance in Woodlawn, Maryland, in the suburbs of Baltimore. This is the home office of the American System of Old Age, Survivors, and Disability Insurance, nerve center of the Social Security program that affects practically every American family. Miss Hall will guide them through the building. She will answer many questions. Questions like, what happens if I lose my Social Security card? What happens to the report of earnings my employer sends in? How are the records of my earnings kept? And last but not least, just simply why a Social Security account number? Each day there are 2 scheduled tours. This one was especially arranged to give Nancy the material she needs for her story about how a knowledge of Social Security is important for both old and young. First, the basic idea. Working people and employers pay Social Security taxes, which are kept in special trust funds. The money can be used only to pay Social Security benefits and operating expenses. When earnings stop because of retirement, disability, or death, benefit payments are made from these funds to replace part of the earnings the family has lost. From this headquarters, the activities of the nation's 600 Social Security district offices and 7 payment centers are directed.
New York, to Hawaii, to Puerto Rico, the Virgin Islands, and Alaska.
Excuse me, I was just wondering, if I lived all the way down here, say, would I have to travel all the way up to Provo to get to the nearest Social Security office?
No, you would not. In thinly settled areas, a Social Security representative makes trips from town to town at scheduled intervals. And then they conduct business in courthouses, post offices.
Just like the old circuit rider.
From here, the guide will lead Nancy and Tim to the section where over 139 million original applications for Social Security cards are filed in numerical order. Actually, more than 194 million names are recorded here because many people have changed their names for various reasons.
And there's one in here for you, Mr. Miller, and another one in here for you, Mrs. Carroll.
Well, I don't remember filling out any application.
Well, let me have your Social Security card for a minute, and we'll pick out your original application.
Well, I wonder if I have it here. Yeah, well, yes, here it is.
Thank you. Would you find this one, please? Thanks.
And here's mine.
Excuse me, would you take this one, please? Thanks.
Out of 194 million names recorded, there are bound to be many duplicated names. There are actually almost 600,000 Millers, and possibly hundreds of Timothy Millers and Nancy Carrolls. That's why individual numbers are assigned to Social Security accounts, which everyone keeps all his working life. Keeping every account separately is an important step toward keeping each account accurately.
Thank you. Here you are, Mr. Miller.
Well, Well, I don't remember making this out. But there it is. December 14th, 1936. I was in San Francisco working on the Bay Bridge. When, Nancy, that was before you were born.
Excuse me. And here's yours, Mrs. Carroll. Oh, say, this is made out for Miss Nancy C. Miller.
Goodness, I forgot to change my name on your records after I got married. Have I lost any credit for my earnings?
No. Since your account is kept by both your Social Security number and your name, the records can be kept straight, even if reports come in under two names. But you should apply for a new card. You'll keep your original number, but the name will be different. And this prevents any possible confusion when your earnings are reported. Now you can see how important your Social Security card is.
Oh, I certainly do. Say, I wonder if I could check on Jim's, that's my husband, his application. He made his application in Hawaii just after the Korean War. But now that I think of it, I can't remember his number anyway.
Well, that wouldn't matter too much. In the next section we visit, the information is kept by name in alphabetical order. So if your husband were here, I could find his Social Security card quickly, with his name and date of birth. But I can't show you that card, Mrs. Carroll. All information here is confidential. I can show it only to your husband. Now, I think if we go to the next section, you'll see what I mean.
And now we come to the section where information is kept by name in these containers of microfilm. Each container has about 90,000 names and numbers recorded on film. The young ladies here can locate any number almost as quickly as it can be spoken. If Mr. Miller had lost his card, they could find his account number in a few moments by using his name and date of birth. These are reports of earnings. They are sent by employers and self-employed people to the Internal Revenue Service, which forwards them to Social Security in Baltimore. We know that account numbers are used to keep each person's records straight. But what goes into these records, and how is this information entered? About 270 million earnings items are received each year from employers and self-employed people. No ordinary bookkeeping system could handle this many entries. So the Social Security Administration turned to the most modern electronic equipment to do the job. With this system, the Bureau can now handle all its present work efficiently and keep up with additional workloads in the future. The information from these reports is transferred to punch cards, which are used to transfer the information to magnetic tape. Information from this tape goes into an electronic computer, which brings the old earnings record up to date and delivers a new tape with a current record of each person's earnings. The new tape stores the information for daily use until new reports come in and a new tape is made. Social Security offices across the nation wire Baltimore and request information from the earnings record when an application for benefits is made. The request starts on paper tape, is relayed through a communication center, and received in the central office on magnetic tape. No further typing is needed to get the required information back to the district office. These machines furnish the records and compute the amount of monthly benefits for more than 15,000 applications each day. Requests for wage information also come in by mail, directly from people who want to be sure that their earnings have been properly reported. The requests are transferred to punch cards and then handled in about the same manner as requests from district offices. They go to magnetic tape, to the computer, and then statements of earnings are printed automatically and mailed. Everyone whose work is covered by this law should write for one of these statements about every 3 years. Over 2 million of these statements are prepared every year.
That was such an interesting tour, Miss Hall. I'm sure I have more than enough information to write a good feature.
Miss Hall, I know we've been taking up quite a lot of your time, but there is a question I'd like to ask you.
Well, go right ahead, Mr. Miller. That's what I'm here for.
Well, back there you said something about a man drawing benefits even after he keeps on working.
Yes, you don't have to quit working entirely. You can earn quite a good deal and still collect some benefits.
Nancy, I'm sure glad I came out here with you. When business falls off, I'm going to be applying for benefits.
Yes, you can.
And not long after his visit to the Social Security building with Nancy, Tim did decide to apply for old age insurance benefits. He went to the post office and met a Social Security representative who was making one of his regular visits. The application blank Tim signed that morning was in Social Security district office later in the day. A request for information from Tim's earnings record was sent by teletype through a communication center to the record-keeping center at the national headquarters. Tim's earnings record was located, and the amount of his benefit figured by the computer. Later, in one of the payment centers, monthly payments to Tim were authorized.
Here's your mail, Tim.
Oh, thank you,
It
Sam.
just came. I don't suppose you'd be interested in this check, would you?
Check? Treasury Department. Hey, that must be my Social Security check.
Yeah, you finally applied for it, did you?
You remember the day I went with my granddaughter on that story assignment?
Yeah.
Hey, did I ever show you that story that she wrote up?
Yeah, you showed it to me the day it come out.
Let me find it now.
Yeah, you showed it to me.
Here it is.
Yeah, mighty fine piece of writing. I remember it very well.
Social Security story by Nancy Carroll.
Nancy's report is one chapter in a continuing story which every American should know. The story of old age, survivors, and disability insurance protection under the Social Security law.